Hello, YouTube. This is a response video to Danny Kench. Yeah. You bring up some very interesting points here, but let's just, let's go through this shit, shall we?
I was really hoping that I wouldn't have to do another video of basically talking about a specific person on YouTube, but it looks like I am going to have to, because it's just something that I just can't rage at myself. So I feel I have to give my words out, because otherwise my head will just literally explode. I don't know if you saw the video when I was talking about PewDiePie, all that crap, and why I somehow drifted away from what he does, how I somehow when it came to a point I didn't like him anymore, and now it's come to the same with a YouTuber called Mr. Repzion.
And these reasons are, I find it difficult to believe you, to be honest. Like, it's just...
I was a fan of his. I wouldn't really go as far as I was a big fan, but I was a fan of his, I enjoyed his content. He had some nice videos. He's one of them YouTubers who just mostly talks about different situations like abortion,
Yeah, he talks about relevant issues that are going on around the world, and shit that affect people quite greatly, and he has his 2 pence on it, and fair play to him. He comes to YouTube to do that, and he's made he's had a good time out of it, and he's doing well out of it. So yeah, all right, crack on.
Christianity, homosexuals, all that sort of stuff. And he has his own gaming channel too, which I've never really paid that much attention to, because
Yeah, neither have
I just didn't. But the weird thing is, another YouTuber has come. I watched one of their videos, and has come to a realization that he's a douchebag. He is an actual...
He could be. But I see this is a very common trend when people start getting a bit jealous and bitter and butthurt, and you can say that that's not the case, and that's fine, fair enough, that might not be the case, but it's just such a common trend. For when people like Mr. Repzion, he started out small, just like every other fucker has to on YouTube, and then not too long after they become pretty big, lots of little jealous, bitter little cunts come crawling out of the woodwork, and they don't really have many legitimate reasons as to why they suddenly hate these users. A lot of these users bring on quite some fairly decent content. Amazing Atheist, maybe not. He just makes videos like, sometimes they are quite good, but a lot of the time, my personal opinion, he's just like, he's a git. He is a git. But again, people like him, and people like Mr. Repzion, and they're doing what people, clearly the majority of people disagree with them being douchebags. Maybe they like them being douchebags. Fuck it. YouTube, you don't have to come on YouTube to be liked by everybody.
Douchebag. And this has only occurred to me, well, I didn't really understand fully if I thought it was a douchebag or if it wasn't, but it only really started to hint when he came to atheism. Now, Mr. Salzbach, he used to be...
Now, this is very interesting. I like this because I suppose when he was a a submissive, narrow-minded. Yeah, he wasn't narrow-minded when he was a Christian. That's a bit harsh. But when he was, a submissive Christian, sort of bound by certain rules and things that he could not do when he was, things he couldn't say. Oh, he was nice. He was all right then. But then, what happened?
He was a Christian. He believed in God. He would go to church. He would pray and all that crap. But
yeah, you know what happened to him in the church, don't you? Not very nice. I don't think anyone really deserves that, do you? I mean, douchebag on the internet or not, I don't think you deserve to get fucking violated the way he was. I suppose people like you people like you are going to say, oh, that's just a load of fucking lies, he's just doing it to get sympathy. I hear people like this, so fuck it, whatever.
He then suddenly came to the realization that he thought there is no God. He doesn't want to pray. He doesn't want to go to church. He doesn't want to be a Christian. So he became an atheist instead. And then that's when...
It's not so much that he didn't want to, he just saw no need to anymore. Because it's like, yeah, okay, this guy doesn't exist. He's not really doing me any favours. It's not a question of want, it's just like, it's not really necessary, is it? I used to go to church, but that's never because I wanted to. it was because I was made to, mainly. Yeah.
And everything began to change with him. He became a bit more
open-minded, opinionated, question things, maybe in a style and in a manner that you might not agree with, but he changed. He turned into an atheist, and a lot of atheists possess very cunty traits, and but that's not to smear any atheist character. I'm an atheist, and we all, quite a lot of atheists on this site do come across in a particular. They've got quite inflammatory views, and they express themselves in rather inflammatory ways, and they're quite angry. There's a lot of angry atheists on here. So why is Daniel being smeared for this? It goes back to this sort of, he's doing well, he's earning money, he's gone to Africa and done this thing, which you're going to keep moaning about in a minute.
He became a douchebag, basically. I can't really put any other word to it. He would. I'm not saying it's so much a bad thing, but he would curse so much more. He starts to give less of a crap about people, and starts more to really give a shit about himself.
Well, maybe, but maybe it's funny that how once he renounced his religion, he started doing all these things that most of us fucking do, really, us atheists. He started thinking for himself. He started maybe looking after his own interests a bit more. That's not exactly, when he was a Christian, he was probably putting on a facade, not to pretend not to care so much about himself and care about everybody else. It's I don't think you just change. Once you start being an atheist, that's it. Or you're beginning to sound a little bit like you're a religious person. I don't know if you are, but I mean, this is a very common argument. Yeah, once if you're not religious, then it sounds very fundamentalist religious actually. You're not religious, so you have no moral compass, do you? And you don't have any fucking moral values, and you're just a selfish piece of shit. You could be, but I've met plenty of religious people who are just as bad. So bollocks to it.
Which, when he was a Christian, he cared about others. He wasn't that much of a douche.
Did he though? Did he? He might have done. How do you know? How do you know so much? Like, he spends a lot of time on YouTube, but you're not around him 24/7, are you? Nobody is. And so we got to accept the fact that the evidence for all of the claims we make about this guy are limited to, is limited to a certain extent. So, but what we can do is listen to the stuff that he does, some of the facts and some of the things that, issues that he does address. And if we don't agree, we can go away and research it and be like, yeah, maybe he's right or maybe he's not. It's better that, it's better that way, instead of just coming to your own little conclusion in your head and listening to other dickheads who don't actually sort of research the facts. And you've got to, in this world, you've got to fucking look out for yourself. Not only in regards to, living life from day to day, but from knowing shit. You got to know shit. You got to find shit out for yourself. So yeah.
But as soon as he came into atheism, all he really did care about was himself. And
again, so what? Oh man, it just sounds so like anti-atheist. That like.
In this video from I Must Destroy All, he blew my mind of everything he said. He gave in evidence of what this guy has done, how he's a hypocrite, how he's just a bad person. And then it made me realize he is a bad person. Yes, he may have made me realize that Onision is a douchebag as well.
Yeah, and we all kind of were more or less aware of what, I've always known him to be a bit of a dick. Like, he's come out with some really silly things. Like, he's made videos about suicide, which are just, you should never end your life and all this bollocks. He's an idiot as well, but you can't even, there's not much comparison between the two. Onision is a fucking, he was a child hunter, and he's a that's horrible. He's a knob, isn't he? And you can't draw many comparisons between the two. You can't draw many parallels between these two guys. They're very different people. Onision is, in my opinion, a lot more narcissistic. He's very fucking. He's just got bad vibes from the guy from more or less the get-go, and then I really lost it with him later. But yeah, whatever.
But these things happen. I used to like PewDiePie. I can't stand him. I used to like Mr. X.
Is that because PewDiePie got very, very unbelievably popular as well, and now he's making a living on YouTube and enjoying his life? It sounds like it to me. I mean, I've got no other reason to, why else would I? The guy's all right, fuck it. Maybe some of the stuff he does is boring. Maybe it's just like you see no need in it. But he's not exactly what's wrong with him? Fuck it, he's just there on YouTube, I want to resist saying if you don't like the videos, don't watch them. But the mantra of the of the internet moron, but a little bit of truth in it.
I can't stand him anymore. I never really liked Onision because I always thought he was a douchebag anyway. But still, yeah, he brought in some good. I Must Destroy All brought in some really good points. How Mr. Repzion will constantly go on about Africa. I mean, I think he's probably had like 5 videos just talking about fucking Africa, and how he's talking about how this makes him a good person for going to fucking Africa. We get it.
Well, has he actually come out with that? Has he actually said in his videos, this makes me a good person? Or is that you just sort of assuming that that's what, fair play to him. Maybe he has made too many videos about going to Africa. But it's an achievement. Maybe it had a real impact on him. That's why he feels the need to mention it all the time. There's no need for him to bolster his, his popularity and make everyone, love him, because people already did, in the first place. Yeah, it was not exactly, he could do other things. He's not that desperate, mate. I really don't think so. But yeah, he's been to Africa. Have you? Have you gone out and done that? Because I haven't. He's one up on me already on doing something decent, and you might say it's for an ulterior motive, but he's still got him fucking done it, isn't he? Can't argue with it, really. In my own opinion, fuck it.
Went to Africa. You don't need to make 5 fucking videos. Getting money from YouTube. I'm not sure if those videos had advertisements on it, but either way, he probably got money from them videos of him talking about fucking Africa, and they're less fortunate and helping them and stuff when he's getting money from YouTube from them videos, which is stupid.
Well,
and
is it stupid?
we get it. You went to fucking Africa. Do you want?
Yes, he went to fucking Africa. Let me ask you again. Have you been there and done a little bit of vocational? It's some sort of charity work or whatever. Have you? I haven't. I probably should.
A fucking cookie, Mr. Repzion.
It looks like you've had enough cookies, mate.
And that did frustrate me, because the thing is, being a good person doesn't mean you have to fucking constantly mention it. Okay, you went to Africa. I really don't give a shit now. You said it the first time.
So don't fucking watch it. Again, yeah, I hate using that little retort, but just, give up. If you don't, fuck it. It doesn't matter. The guy is really not, he's not a very harmful geezer. He's just doing what he does. All of it, this video, it's got all the signs of somebody who just is a little bit bitter and jealous. That's all I can really see in you here. It's just this sort of whiny sort of, oh, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? He's just doing shit. You got a fucking choice whether to watch it or not. If you really find it that abhorrent and fake and disgusting, just, forget it. If it really is the case, people will realise eventually. I mean, a lot of people are fucking stupid, but they'll realise in their own sweet time.
I thought it was, well done. You helped people, but the more you went on about it, the more you keep going on. Oh, I did this in Africa, blah blah blah. It made me come to the realization, I don't think you even wanted to go there to help people. I think you just wanted to go there because it would make you look good. It would make you look like a good person.
It's all, maybe. Fact is, he still went, and he's still done something out there. You can't whack that. You can't fucking, even if it was for an ulterior motive, he's still been out there and done something. It's so easy to sit there and moan and bitch and fucking, well, look at him, he's only doing it to make money, he's only doing it to, make himself look good, Yeah, fine, alright, whatever. I don't see, all I've seen from you so far is just, you just fucking whinge and moan about people doing stuff in life, We're all selfish to a certain degree, mate. There's nobody's completely selfless. We're our very genetic makeup is selfish. Selfish gene. It's the only reason why we're still here on this fucking planet.
And then it makes me realize, did you even want to go to Africa in the first place? You probably didn't. I bet you fucking hated it. I bet you.
I'm sure he would have had some reservations about it. I would. I wouldn't know how I'd deal with it, going out there and seeing the poverty and the shit that people have to live in. I don't think anyone with a conscience, they wouldn't really sit very well with them, would it? This is turning out to be a very long video, but you've got a lot of crap to get through here.
Went to Africa and you fucking hated it. But you stuck with it because you knew oh, if I stay with, if I keep doing this shit in Africa, if I keep, acting like I give a crap about these people in Africa, then it will make me a...
And who's to say that he didn't? Who's to say that he didn't? It's just so, it's very superficial, this argument. We've got no evidence of this. It's ridiculous. If you've got anything like to prove this claim, then please bring it on. But well, we've all got the right to be sceptical, but this is like, you've made a 21-minute video and it's just moaning constantly about the guy. None of it you can actually sort of prove or come up with any sort of...
good person. No. See, if it was me saying, I'll probably mention it at an end of a video which is completely off topic. I'll probably go on about some random shit and say, I won't be here for a while, guys, because I'm going to Africa. That's it.
And that's how you would conduct yourself. Fine. And but he's kept going on about it because, maybe it's made a real impact on him. I don't know. I don't know a lot. But I know that you're a knob.
All you need to fucking say, you don't need to make 5 fucking videos or whatever talking about fucking Africa. It's stupid. You don't need to. And that's
maybe he does feel the need to.
If you want to be a good person, don't brag about it. It's like when I was watching a video and it was basically about this group of anonymous people. And they had their masks on, they were basically gathering around this homeless person, telling people, give him your money, give him your money, give him your money. When that doesn't mean you're being good by yelling at people, telling them to give them fucking money. If it was me, if I wanted to be good...
No, but it helps it along though, doesn't it? I mean, it might seem a bit sort of crude in a bad way, but, people don't fucking listen. Again, we live in a world full of selfish cunts, and sometimes you have to yell at people to say, oi, give me some fucking money, mate, share the wealth. It's just sadly how we have to do things, because otherwise, dickheads like you will just walk by and not give a fucking shit. Instead, they'll just moan and say, "Oh, he's just trying to make himself look good."
I would I would walk past a homeless person, drop a fuckload of money into their lap, and carry on.
Would you? Would you really? Something about that statement just stinks of bullshit. Call me a bit of I don't know.
That is being good. You're not bragging about it. You're not going up to your friends saying, I gave this shit to a homeless person. He's not going to fucking freak out about it. I done what I had to do. I gave this guy money. That is it. That is...
once I was drunk one night and came out of Tesco's and I came across this homeless guy. And I had a load of food that I just bought because I was, out on a little binge after drinking a lot, just being a twat. And I gave him some food, and it was, and it made me feel a little bit better about myself. And no, I didn't spread it around, but I told a friend when I got back in. I was like, oh yeah, there's a guy out. Did you see the guy outside Tesco? Yeah, I gave him some Doritos and some other shit, And I just felt the need to share that with my friend. Maybe it was me trying to make myself look good, but it was the fact that inside myself I felt a little bit better about myself. I was like, it was a fairly charitable act, I suppose. I gave him most of my fucking food, but. Yeah, again, maybe when you share these sort of things with other people, it can sort of inspire them to do it themselves. Clearly, it hasn't had that effect on you.
It's the same with Africa. I went to fucking Africa, and I did, I built them houses. I gave them fresh water. I built wells, all that crap. I wouldn't fucking mention it again. Why mention it again?
Well, you don't know that yet, do you? Because you clearly haven't had that experience in life, have you? Something tells me that you haven't. Have you been out to Africa and done all this shit? And maybe if you had, you might feel a little bit different and feel the need to share your story and spread the word around, and try and get other people to do the same thing. Inspire others to do the same. clearly not, you know.
What is the fucking point of it? What? Just to be like, I went to Africa, so it makes me a good person. It just shows that
That's such like that. It's sort of like, you know, you'd expect someone in primary school to come out with that. That is just such a puerile statement.
done good for the world. Unlike some people, it doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't fucking matter at all. Oh yeah, another thing, another thing that really fucking annoys me. It's like, you talk about freedom of speech, how we are allowed to give our own opinions out. If I make a bad comment in one of your videos, it will probably just end up getting deleted. Or I'll get banned from fucking putting comments in any of your videos.
Well, yeah, I don't agree with that, but that's the harsh reality of YouTube. You know, I mean, I'm not sure about you getting banned, but it depends on what you say to the guy, really, because there are certain things that you need to have said in order for it. You know, you've got to be inciting abuse or hatred towards the guy. I don't fucking know really how it works, but it's. Yeah, that's what happens. You know, I'm not particularly, I don't really agree with it, but when you've got a big user like that who's got a massive subscriber base, that's one of the things you've got to be prepared for when you decide to slag them off in front of a load of people. I've seen, I've been on YouTube for a long time, I haven't really been making many videos because I just don't really have a lot to say. Today I do. But yeah, that's how it works. That's YouTube, man. And, Google's fucked it up even more. But yeah, that's something you're going to have to get used to, I'm afraid.
Oh, you believe in freedom of speech? Oh, wow, as if I could fucking believe that. Freedom of speech, yeah. If it's about other people, it's okay, but if it's towards you, if I give an opinion about you, you would fucking go apeshit. You'd be like, no, I'm not standing for this.
Well, I don't know, I've seen quite a few videos smearing him, actually, and he's generally, on the whole, just not bothered with them. Because a lot of the videos are just like shit, there's not a lot you can do with a lot of the crap that gets thrown at him in that respect. It's not worth the fucking time or the hassle. He's too busy having a good time and having a positive impact on people, I suppose. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I do know.
And block. That is so immature, so childish.
Are you serious? You're going to sit there and say that he's immature after this puerile display of fucking, petulance? Really? Are you going to sit there and call him immature? Mate, really? Just, sort your life out.
Just to be like, I'm not going to stand for this, this person's criticising me, I'm not going to take it. Block. Why can't you just accept that people are going to fucking criticise you and they're going to take the fucking piss out of you? Why does it matter?
I think he does. I think most guys with a huge subscriber base are kind of prepared for that fact. Most of them are. Yeah, I remember Thunderfoot wasn't. Thunderfoot, yeah, he didn't know how to play the game in that respect, I think, and he lost a lot of credibility on YouTube because he was just, didn't know how to deal with criticism. But I think Mr. Repzion does, and more often than not, he just doesn't reply to people who just come at him with this, torrents of mindless bullshit. No fucking time for it. Bollocks to it.
It happens. You're on YouTube. People on the internet.
Yeah, fucking yes. In one lucky, Jim. That's the most sensible, coherent thing you've said so far. He's on. Yeah, you're on YouTube. You're on YouTube too. So man the fuck up.
We're gonna give you criticism. If I get criticism, I won't give it. Actually, if I get criticism, it will help me. Because if they're talking about...
well, you're getting criticism right now, mate. And God knows how you're going to react to this one. From what I've seen so far, I don't think you're going to take it too well. But, hopefully, hopefully you'll take something from this. I don't think you're particularly bad person, but some of the things you've said here are just I don't know you, and I don't think you're. I'd imagine you're not a particularly bad person. You seem to have, but to express a few things that, but it's not like, yeah,
if they mention that I'm fat or something, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, so what? As if I didn't know that already. Or if they criticized one of my videos as like if I lack body language, or if I lack editing, or any of that shit, then I would take that on board. I would be like, okay.
yeah. Yeah, I know they might. Yeah, they might criticise you for that, but again, that's like body language is like they're not paying to watch you or anything. So if they don't like it, they can fuck off.
Fair enough. If this person thinks, it's important to listen to those. If it's people just going on how much you suck.
He does though. He does listen to people, but when you got so many people like asking you shit, it's the reality is you're not going to take notice of everything. Particularly if they're really superficial little things. There's no time for it. There's no time. That's the reality of it. That's YouTube for you, man. Like, yeah.
No, but just fucking ignore them. It does not matter. Why? Are you scared someone's gonna stand you?
He does ignore them mostly, unless something's. Yeah.
Flat or something? I think that's the term anyway. It's like, just reveal what you really are. Why should you give a fuck? These are people on the internet.
Yeah.
Why are you listening to them? And
you're so fucking right. These are people on the internet. And you're just displaying. You're looking so pissed off and like filling your lungs with hatred and over some geezer on the internet who's making videos and people like it.